March 28, 2025. A catastrophic 7.7 magnitude earthquake strikes central Myanmar, unleashing chaos and terror. From Mandalay's ancient temples to Bangkok's skyscrapers, the ground trembled, lives shattered, and history crumbled. Was this nature's warning of greater disasters to come? Let's uncover the story behind this unforgettable tragedy with 1001 Crazy. At 7.7 magnitude, this quake struck central Myanmar on March 28, 2025.
我的天啊，吓死我了！ใช่ไม่ได้ถลอกมันแค่สั่นจนน้ำมันไหลลงสตอรี่ก่อน
The U.S. Geological Survey confirmed its epicenter was just 16 kilometers northwest of Staggering, near Mandalay, a bustling city of millions. With a shallow depth of 10 kilometers, the tremors ripped through the earth violently, shaking Myanmar and rippling across Thailand, India, and China. In Mandalay, panicked crowds fled collapsing buildings as the ground shook for nearly a minute. High-rises in Bangkok swayed dangerously. While in Chiang Mai, streetlights rattled like ghosts. The remarkable thing is that this earthquake occurs at a depth of only 10 kilometers, which is very shallow compared to normal seismic standards. Shallow depth means energy from underground to surface faster and stronger land causes damage bigger. But why is Myanmar hotspot for such events? What shook Myanmar? Why is this area often faced with terrible earthquakes in the east? First of all, let's talk about Myanmar. Myanmar is not a random country. Earthquakes frequently visit it. It is located in a region with special geography, where tectonic plates, the giants of the earth, meet. Think of the earth like a giant ball, but its outer shell is cracked into large pieces called plates. These tectonic plates do not stand still, but instead, they move slowly, colliding, sliding past each other, or even moving underneath one another. Myanmar is one of these places.
So there's three different types of fault lines that traverse the entire planet. There's the normal fault lines that separate during an earthquake, a reverse type of fault line, but what took place here in Myanmar is known as a strike slip. So the Staggering fault runs parallel right through Myanmar. If you look at a map on the USGS website, you can see it.
Scientists blame the Staggering fault, a 1,200-kilometer monster where the Indian and Sunda tectonic plates collide. For centuries, tension built here, until it exploded. The earthquake in May 2025 is thought to have occurred on the Staggering fault, a fault line more than 1,400 kilometers long. It runs through Myanmar from north to south and passes through major cities like Yangon, Nay Pai Dao, and Mandalay. This fault marks the boundary between the Burma Plate, a small tectonic plate, and the Sunda Plate, which is part of Southeast Asia. These two plates slide past each other at a very slow speed, ranging from 18 to 49 millimeters per year. Although this movement seems slow compared to Earth's timeline, over millions of years, the pressure builds up enormously. When this pressure is suddenly released, the ground shakes. That's what an earthquake is. Imagine sliding two pieces of wood past each other. If they get stuck, the harder you pull, the greater the pressure builds up until one of the wooden panels suddenly pops out. That's how earthquakes happen. Myanmar has a long history of earthquakes. This fault has caused many significant ones, such as the 7.5 magnitude earthquake in 1931, the 7.3 and 7.7 magnitude quakes in 1946, and even a 6.9 magnitude earthquake in 2012. The earthquake in 2025 is just the latest event in Myanmar's long natural history in Southeast Asia. The quake's fury left no mercy. Mandalay's streets became war zones. Buildings crumbled, glass rained down, and power lines swung like deadly snakes. In Saging, near the epicenter, entire neighborhoods vanished. In Bangkok, a half-built skyscraper groaned, its steel skeleton twisting. Then, in slow-motion horror, it collapsed, sending dust clouds swallowing the city. Construction workers ran, but some were buried under concrete jaws. But the terror escalated in surreal ways. Atop a luxury Mandalay condominium, a rooftop pool transformed into a monster. Turquoise waves sloshed violently, spilling over edges like raging rivers, cascading down 30 floors, a waterfall of panic. At another high-rise, swimming pools on the 50th floor became death traps. Water surged, sweeping lounge chairs into the void below.
多少币？多少票？6片米，6片米，你回来，多少片？哦哦，再做嘞！哦，不是我把米把你那个啊，多少币？
Bangkok, a half-built skyscraper groaned, its steel skeleton twisting. Then, in slow-motion horror, it collapsed, sending dust clouds swallowing the city. Construction workers ran, but some were buried under concrete jaws. Even nature rebelled. In Bagan, cracks split ancient pagodas, statues of Buddha toppled, and sacred relics were buried under rubble. The quake's power? Equal to 334 atomic bombs. Shock waves traveled 1,000 kilometers. In Bangkok, office workers in bathrobes fled swaying skyscrapers. Northern Thailand's Chiang Mai shook violently. Windows shattered, lights swung madly. This wasn't just a quake, it was a regional nightmare.
เฮ้ยข้างบนแม่งแกว่งแล้วเฮ้ยเหี้ยโอ้ยสัตว์โอ้ยไอ้เหี้ยเฮ้ยเอาไปที่ส่วนด่วนโอ้ยเย็นแม่โอ้ยเหี้ยอะไรวะเนี่ยเฮ้ยโดนวิ่งกันชิบหายเลยเฮ้ยล่วงกันเอง
Amid the chaos, heroes emerged. Myanmar's rescue teams worked tirelessly, pulling survivors from ruins. Hospitals overflowed. Doctors battled to save lives. The government urged citizens to avoid damaged buildings, but hope flickered. In Thailand, crews freed trapped workers in Chatuchak, while engineers checked Bangkok's trembling towers. The UN and Red Cross pledged aid, but broken roads slowed help. Across borders, one message rang clear: solidarity. Southeast Asia stood together, watching for aftershocks, sharing supplies, and praying for calm. The 2025 quake was more than a disaster. It was a wake-up call. As Myanmar rebuilds, the sagging fault still lurks, a reminder of Earth's raw power. But in the rubble, we see hope, communities uniting, strangers helping, courage rising. Share this story, support the survivors, and remember, subscribe for updates on our fragile world. Thank you for watching.